Yeah.
But so here's the thing. Financial services in general is archaic. They're Luddites, they just don't implement things quickly. So I started speaking, so I'm a keynote speaker. I speak at a lot of conferences, right?
Okay.
And I was at a conference about 12 months ago, 18 months ago, and I had asked the question, how many of you are using AI? And maybe 10% of the room raised their hand. And I was just at this big national conference in Austin 3 months ago, and I asked the same question, 90% of the hands were raised. And so the adoption of artificial intelligence, but the problem is, they're just using GPT and Claude and Gemini and Grok, right? They're not actually using a system that has been built to make their lives better. So the overall idea of Zox is this. Foundation is an AI note taker with no recording, because in financial services, we'd have to keep those recordings for 6 years because of compliance and legal.
Wow.
Right? So this is real time. I think that's pretty freaking cool. Now, in the world of AI, you know this, it's really not that big of a deal, but because of compliance and the specificity in financial services, it works really well. And then, so that's the foundation of the platform. Now it does documents and can pull information from documents. It can do pre-meeting prep and post-meeting follow-up. And soon, we're actually going to be doing what's called signals, which is going into your existing book of business and using AI to uncover new business opportunities.
Okay.
Dude, that's where stuff gets real.
Yeah. That brings me to a point, because I was very curious, like, where do you go from here? And just to kind of recap a little bit what MattGBT is sharing, is a lot of the general population, right? I think it's fair. I haven't done a study or anything, but I think it's fair to say this, that a lot of them, if they are using AI, it's through the common LLMs, right? ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, those kinds of things. Now, the next level of doing monetization of that is what everybody calls wrappers, right? Mm-hmm. Which is you put a front end in front of that LLM, and now it just makes it so much easier for somebody who's non-tech savvy to say, hey, I need an app, just tell me what meal to make today, because it's very complicated. I don't want to keep track of it. So they just hit a button. But then what MattGBT creates is basically a wrapper that then sends that request to LLM saying, today is this day, this person likes X, Y, and Z based on what they inputted. Give me a recommendation of a health meal based on their allergies. That comes back, boom, and they love your app, and then they're going to pay you $5 a month or whatever it is. Now, you take that and then you expand it to a product like Zox. And now Zox can do so much more. It can record meetings for you. It can take notes. It can onboard people. It can fill out forms. It can understand a form. And then, the possibilities are endless, like you said, where it can start analyzing things. And for finance, what comes to mind is regulations, like you mentioned. You got to keep the data for 6 years. Okay, well, what about the form that it ingested or the meeting that's taking place? What if certain things are being said that are going against your compliance requirement?
That's right.
I know there's a big thing, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's like, can't give financial advice if you're not like a registered financial person. But then if you're just talking to a salesperson, right? And the salesperson is like, oh yeah, last year we did X percentage return on investment. And then immediately I want Zox to say like, whoa, can't say that. And then, corrects that salesperson in live in like real time. I think that would be kind of cool too.